Sharks' losing streak has officially reached double digits as they lost their 10th game in a row, this time to the Minnesota Wild in the overtime period. And it's funny because, you look at our last 4 games, the Sharks' last 4 games, 3 of those 4 were in either a shootout or overtime. So the Sharks very well were essentially 1 goal away from having wins in some cases. And the Stars lost, we lost by 1 goal. So the Sharks are just very close to getting wins, but they're getting unlucky and they're not playing their best. And as a result, they've lost 10 games in a row. We're not going to the playoffs. And, I just think the Sharks, at this point, they're benefiting in terms of draft position probably, but I think for pride, it's just not doing good things for their morale. The big story was that Bordeleau was making his NHL debut, essentially, his Sharks debut, Thomas Bordeleau. I talked about him and his signing the other night. But, yeah, he actually got his first career point. He had an assist on one of the goals. The Sharks 4 goals today. They had a goal from Matt Nieto, which was good. Noah Gregor, Nick Bonino, and Balcers. So 4 guys that, aren't normally in the mix of guys that score, goals in games like this. So that was good. For the Wild, Minnesota Wild, they had 2 goals from Jared Spurgeon. He was very good in this game. Kevin Fiala was really good in this game as well. But, I think the Sharks couldn't defend them. The Wild had Marc-Andre Fleury in net. And, of course, he's a very well-respected goalie. And he was 26 of 30 on saves. For the Sharks, they had James Reimer in net. He was 23 of 28, so not as good. But, the Sharks, they look aggressive on offense. But on their defense, it just seems that they're not, completely with it. And it's hurting them, 100%. I think they're not, playing up to, perfection or even anywhere close to that on defense. And as a result, like I said, it's hurting them. It was good to see Nieto's goal and whatnot. Like I said, it's always good to see guys that don't normally score like that. But yeah, for the Wild, they had their first goal. It was in the second period from Kulikov. It was about 13 minutes left. Spurgeon made it 2-0 to the Sharks. They were already facing a deficit. They did get on the board with Balcers' goal halfway through the second. And then, the second period also had a goal from Matt Nieto, which was good to see. And Matthew Boldy, though, gave the Wild the lead again, so it was 3-2. Noah Gregor tied it up 3-3, while there was a very poor move by Fleury. And so the Sharks, they definitely utilized the fact that they were down, and they used that to come back. They actually took a 4-3 lead with a Bonino goal in the third period, but Fiala made it 4-4, and then obviously in the overtime period, Fiala, won the game for them. So that's kind of how it went. The Wild just simply outplayed them down the stretch, and that was, what led to their loss. So yeah, anyways, guys, that's going to pretty much do it. The Sharks lose their 10th game in a row. It's just ridiculous at this point. 5-4, Wild win. It was a good game. It was a hard-fought game, but that only goes so far. I could say that for the last 10 games. It doesn't mean anything. It was an overtime loss for the Sharks, so they do get their 70th point of the season, but when you look at that in perspective with other teams in our division, that's 17 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights, who have the 4th position. And that's 31 points or 15 wins about away from first place Flames. So the Sharks completely out of there. They're not going anywhere. We're 7th place in the division. Even the Kraken are nowhere close to us, but still we're not doing good. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later. Sharks will play the Blue Jackets next. They only have 7 games left. And so, we'll see how that goes, but I'll see you guys later. And yeah, go Sharks.